Hi everyone! So second video review for this week is Incognito by VK Powell. If you want to check out my Goodreads review, I did just post that the other day. So if you're on Facebook or on my blog, there is a link within the post, and if you're on YouTube, there is a link in the description below. And this is the video review, and I'm so excited! Oh my god, Incognito by VK Powell. I am totally in love with this story. I had the best time reading this. It's basically a story of two agents, if you like, who work in quite high up government, like not Secret Service, but I don't know what the DEA agency is, but that's what Frankie is. She's a DEA agent, and Evan, she's on the same sort of level. They're very important in the law enforcement world, and Evan finds Frankie assigned to her team. Frankie's a bit wayward and a bit out there and isn't always a follow by the book type, which is the complete opposite of Evan. And there's past demons haunting Evan on the case that they're working on, and she's determined to catch these criminal masterminds that keep eluding her, and she really doesn't want anything messing that up. So to have Frankie in the picture is additional stress for her, and it's quickly clear that she's going to stand in Frankie's way if she tries to do anything or put a foot out of line or anything. But Frankie's pretty defiant, and she manages to get up to a few of her old tricks, either behind Evan's back or with Evan sat beside her in the end. And whilst, you know, well and truly getting under each other's skins, both Frankie and Evan, they have to come to understand one another, compromise and work as a team, otherwise they're never going to accomplish their overall goal and be successful in completing the mission that they are on. So it's one of those proper action adventure, enemies to friends to lovers type stories, and it was fabulous. Oh, I am completely blown away with how much I love this book. I wasn't sure, and although the story was really gripping and thrilling, I have to say that the success for me in this book is these amazing characters that VK Powell has created. They were characters who I personally really engaged with, and they were what made this the brilliant crime mystery sort of thriller that it is. To have characters that are strong-willed but vulnerable all in one is one of my very favourite things in a story. I love that they have one persona when they are working and interacting with strangers, and they have a completely different, more vulnerable persona when they are either alone and you're reading and experiencing their thoughts, or when they get to know other characters and they slowly let down that wall. And I love the fact that this then had characters with the flaws and insecurities to a level that Frankie has. They made her strong and admirable, but at the same time they were truly something special in making her weak as well, and it was a strange combination, but I really connected with it. And I don't know how to really explain it to you, but people's like perception of a character thinking they're strong, but really Frankie is that epitome of a character where you would think you knew her, but this is her life, you know. You can't even see my other hand, that's what I mean. This is her life, and this is what you know of it, this is what you see. And it's great to get that wider perspective and see that she's so much more, and what her work takes out of her and why it takes it out of her. But as soon as I started reading this, I could feel that tension between Evan and Frankie, and it remained consistent throughout. It built to like a really huge crescendo, and when they actually figured out, you know, that their irritation was of each other was attraction, it was really fabulous. And the plot really tested their characters in that respect as well, in terms of their emotions, and in turn sort of it cleverly tested yours as well, I guess, because you as the reader were wondering if if there was something more that you were missing here. And I say, once you get to learn more about Evan and Frankie, you will understand a lot more about them. But there's a lot of history here with each character. There's a lot of background, and it's molded and shaped them into who they are. And it's the reason, it's what's allowed them to be flawed in such an excellent way. They were totally perfect for one another, really, based on their insecurities and how they behave and their differences. But they have a lot of similarities for someone with so much different sort of perspectives on things. They really are very similar in what they want from everything. And a partner who challenges you isn't always a bad thing. I think that's one of the most important messages in here. Frankie definitely challenges Evan, and it's for the better. But Evan, she also challenges Frankie in a different type of way. Like, she challenges her emotionally, which is interesting. I think really interesting. They both sort of tested each other emotionally, but Frankie also tested Evan's morals and her work ethics and other things like that, which brought an interesting level. And, you know, Frankie really knew how to test Evan's patience, and you could feel it. It was like radiating off the pages. It was brilliant. But like I say, trying to describe how I felt about Frankie and her story is something I wish I had the right words for this. Whatever words I say probably won't justify it. I literally cried and laughed so much at everything she did. She was brilliant in her own way. It's totally unique. When you read Incognito, you'll know what I mean. When you meet Frankie and you get to experience her life, I think you'll get it better then. I really want these two to have another adventure, though, because I think I haven't had enough of them, and I've only had like the slightest taste in this book, and they have so much more to give. They're so brilliant. And yeah, this was my first VK Powell book, and I have to say, it definitely won't be my last. If she writes characters like this, they are characters I absolutely love. I love that losing myself in emotion when I'm reading a book, and I could thoroughly do that here. And I just absolutely adored the story, the connection with the characters, and I love that book cover. I'm going to have to get paperback so that I can do an introduction video and show you. It's a gorgeous book. It really is lovely, and I love the cover. I think it's got one of those really intriguing covers that makes you want to read it. It's really alluring. It's just, there's something about it. If you've seen it, you'll know what I mean. And I really would recommend this story. If you like crime and mystery, it's a great story for you. But to anyone who loves a really deeply emotional story, a connection between two characters, in a romance, in a love story, your heart will be filled by this. It really will. I promise. It's definitely one of those, even if you're sort of suffering a little bit from, I don't know, romance pain, let's call it that, this will somehow comfort you and give you something. It's a lovely book. I really enjoyed the story. I thought it was absolutely great, and I can't wait to read more by VK Powell. So I'll pop a link in the description so you can go and grab a copy of Incognito. I really hope you will. If you've read Incognito by VK Powell, please let me know what you thought of it. I'd love to chat about it and talk about it with you. So comment below, get involved in the discussion. If you haven't read it yet, but you're planning to read it, or if it's on your to be read list, again, it would be really great to hear from you, and because it's always great to hear what you're interested in reading. And if you do grab a copy of it, I really hope you enjoy it. I hope you have a great time reading it, and I do hope you'll love the characters. Bye!